Bitcoin's RSI just hit 65, while fear and greed sits at 25. Extreme fear. That divergence rarely lasts. Full transparency before we dive in. Yesterday's tracked results are unavailable, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Our data feed didn't log confirmed entries or exits for the prior BTC and ETH setups, so I won't fabricate a win or a loss. Accountability matters on this channel. When we have verified TP or SL hits, you'll hear them first. Today we start clean with fresh levels. The total top 5 market cap sits near $1.87 trillion today, with Bitcoin commanding roughly $130 trillion and holding dominance around 70%. Price action is quietly green, BTC up 0.9%, ETH up 2.1%, yet sentiment is screaming caution. The fear and greed index reads just 25, deep in extreme fear. That's a classic tug of war. Prices grinding higher while emotion stays defensive. This is a market to trade with discipline, not conviction. Bitcoin trades at $64,876, up 0.9% on the day and 1.1% over the week. The RSI at 65.1 is technically neutral but leaning hot, knocking on the door of overbought. The MACD is still bullish at plus 158.56, above its signal line of plus 151.89, with a positive histogram of 6.67, so momentum hasn't broken down yet. But price is pinned right under 3-day resistance at 65,025ers and 7-day resistance at 65,410. Support holds at 62,445ers on the 3-day and 62,275 on the 7-day. A defensive stop-loss zone sits just above 65,350 for anyone fading this level. Not financial advice. Or. Ethereum is the day's stronger performer, up 2.1% to $1,904.38, though flat over 7 days at just plus 0.2%. The RSI at 64.2 sits neutral but elevated. Here's the warning. The MACD histogram has flipped negative at 0.23, with MACD at 8.63 slipping below its signal at plus 8.6, an early bearish crossover. Price is stalling under 3-day resistance at $1,928 and 7-day resistance at $937. Support rests at $1,837 and $1,822 below. A stop-loss above $1,930 short-side setups. Not financial advice. Or. Among the majors, BNB is today's standout laggard, down 1.0% to $594.86, though zoom out and it's actually the strongest weekly performer of the top 5, up 3.6% over 7 days. That's healthy consolidation after a run, not a breakdown. Tether and USDC are both anchored at $1, flat as expected, with USDT's $183 billion cap underscoring just how much sideline liquidity is parked and waiting. When that stablecoin dry powder deploys, moves get violent. Today's spotlight is Canton, ticker CC, ranked number 24 by market cap and bleeding, down 7.1% in 24 hours to 109th, and a brutal 16.2% over the week. This is textbook altcoin underperformance while Bitcoin holds firm, a sign of capital rotating up the risk curve towards safety in extreme fear conditions. The sub-11-cent level is now the psychological battleground. Until CC reclaims ground and volume returns, this looks more like a falling knife than a discount. Chasing weakness here is a trap, not an opportunity. Not financial advice. Or. 3 names are lighting up the trending boards today: Heima, StonkBroker, and CashCat. These are pure attention economy plays, driven by social hype, meme momentum, and community virality rather than fundamentals or revenue. StonkBroker and CashCat carry the classic meme coin risk profile: explosive upside paired with equally violent drawdowns and thin liquidity. If you touch these, size tiny and treat it as speculation, not investment. Hype fades faster than it builds. The fear and greed index sits at 25, firmly extreme fear, signaling elevated selling pressure and cautious defensive positioning across the board. Historically, deep fear zones have marked accumulation opportunities for the patient, but they also warn that any bad news gets amplified. On the whale front, there were no major BTC transfers above $1 million tracked in the last 24 hours. That silence is meaningful. No large players are dumping or aggressively accumulating on-chain, so today's grind is retail-driven, not whale-driven. For the next 24 to 48 hours, watch Bitcoin's battle between resistance at 65,025 to 65,410 and support at 62,445. A clean break above resistance flips momentum bullish. Rejection here favors the short. Ethereum's fate is tied to $937 resistance and $1,837 support, with that bearish MACD flip warning of downside first. Remember, extreme fear at 25 plus a stalling RSI is a fragile setup. Respect your stops and keep position sizes small. Macro remains the wild card with the dollar and equities in play. Not financial advice. Dwyer. Here's today's Bitcoin setup, and it's a short. Entry at 64,876, stop loss tight at 65,303.35, and take profit down at 62,257.49 for a compelling risk reward of 1 to 4.5. The rationale: BTC's RSI at 65.1 is stretched near overbought, and while the MACD histogram is still barely positive at 6.67, price is failing right into stacked resistance below 65 to 400. This is a fade the top play targeting a pullback towards support. Honor that stop above 65,350. If resistance breaks, the thesis is dead. Not financial advice. Dwyer. Ethereum's setup is also a short, and the technicals back it more cleanly than BTC. Entry at $1,904.38, stop loss at $1,937, take profit at $1,845.93 for a solid risk reward of 1 to 2.9. The edge here, RSI at 64.2 is elevated, and crucially, the MACD histogram has already flipped negative at 0.23. That bearish crossover under 1,937 resistance is the trigger. We're targeting a rotation down toward the $840 zone. Keep that stop just above 937. A reclaim invalidates the trade instantly. Not financial advice. If this breakdown gave you an edge, smash subscribe and hit the notification bell for daily crypto recaps, technical analysis, and real-time whale alerts. Don't miss tomorrow's setups.